Foreclosures, owning a private prison system for profit. So that big change in letting people restructure their mortgages is really important, and it's something that MoveOn and the progressives have worked on for months. So we're really happy to see that. Today we are focusing on the 3 large crimes that Wells Fargo has perpetrated against the 99% since the economic collapse in 2008. These are their heavy complicity in mortgage fraud scandal that cost millions of homeowners their homes and savings, their ownership of 31% of the stock in the GEO private prisons that simply imprison immigrants for the great crime of having no papers, and while they're there, they get to abuse and starve them and deprive them of all due process and human rights, period. It's cheaper that way. The other thing that we're really concerned about is that they have been dodging their fair share of taxes for years now. They paid flat zero last year. Despite huge profits since 2008, they are still paying zero. They're using all the loopholes that the congressmen that they bought have written for them, and they're using 70 offshore tax havens. So they're not giving us a nickel. I've got some details I can give you on that in a little bit. So this fight to get them to stop their private prison ownership and stop foreclosing homes illegally and start paying their taxes is not going to be easy, it's not going to be quick, but it's going to be successful because people like you all over the country are turning out at the big banks today to say, pay your share. Stop foreclosing our homes. They aren't all involved in private prisons, just Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I like this great quote that Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Just find out what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them, and these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows or both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. Well, our endurance is for the struggle, not for the oppression. A stronger democracy with adequate human services for everyone, freedom of speech and action, and the necessary political power to determine our own direction will be our reward. We are the 99%, and we are the people. Thank you for joining us. And we need you all.
They don't care. They won't even pay their share. Cutting programs, they don't care.
They won't even pay their share.
Cutting programs, they don't care.
They won't even pay their share.
Cutting programs, they don't care.
They won't even pay their share.
Introduce Corinne Fowler, who is with the Colorado Progressive Coalition. She and her team have been working very hard on the foreclosure injustice issue, and she's got some words and an action for us.
Yay, Corinne! Woo!
Second. I'm actually going to speak in just a moment. I'm going to hand the mic over to Mr. Jim Earlston. Jim is a community member that came to us actually just last week. He heard about the work that we're all doing around foreclosure, and he thought maybe we could help him out with all of the things that he's dealing with Wells Fargo. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Mr. Earlston right now.
Guys.
Hey! Thank you, Corinne. My name's Jim Earlston, and I'm a small business owner and a veteran, and I was hit by the recession with my company. I've owned my home since 2000, and several times in the last year I've applied for loan modifications through Wells Fargo. Each time that I applied for those modifications, I jumped through all the hoops, provided all the paperwork they wanted, but they refused my loan modification without any reason of why it was denied, other than it was denied. I've tried to contact my loan preservation specialist, Matthew Coker, several times in the last few weeks, and I get a voicemail stating, please leave a voicemail, I'll call you back in 48 hours. Yet his voicemail is continuously full, and he cannot receive any more voicemails or messages. I received a notice on the 17th of April that they were going to do an acceleration to foreclosure on my loan, after my loan modification had been denied for the third time. On the 28th of April, they sent me another, and I'm saying this again, another application to do another loan modification proceeding, to start all over again. I've made a good faith payment to try and catch up with my arrears, and I plan to make several more good faith payments to keep myself ahead of the foreclosure. But the amount that they gave me and the time frame was less than 30 days and over $5,000. Because of all these conflicting letters that Wells Fargo's been sending, starting on the 17th of April up until the 28th, 27th, and 28th of April, I do not know where I stand with my mortgage. I don't know where my money's going. Is my money being applied to my loan? Is it going into a trust and escrow account? I have the receipts right here of them accepting my money, but when I called to ask where is the actual money being placed, I received no answer. I went to the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder's office yesterday. I pulled all my records from the Jefferson County Court. My loan has been assigned twice since 2000, and Wells Fargo has never filed a release on any of those deeds. And so with that being the case, I am really unclear and confused of where my money is at and what really is going to happen in a few weeks, in less than a week. Thank you.
Woo!